everyone, this is my new video, and this is Zero Tolerance on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. This is quite an unusual game in that it's a first-person shooter on the Sega Mega Drive, and there wasn't too many of those because, in honesty, the hardware wasn't particularly suited for it. Well, in fact, it wasn't suited to the first-person type games at all. And it works really well. The first thing you'll notice is that you can choose different characters to play, and they supposedly have their own unique abilities. The one I've chose here is Psycho. It says on the little thing there, Captain S. Hale. Is that Hales? Hale? Can't really read it that well. And he's supposed to be the demolitions expert. And yeah, it works rather well. The one thing you do notice is that the view window is obviously greatly restricted. It's not full screen, it's not even half screen. It probably equates to roughly about a quarter, just over a quarter of the screen. But it surprisingly doesn't detract away from the gameplay, because aside from the very large profile card in the bottom right corner, the rest of the screen is in fact full with useful information. The map in particular that you can see in the bottom of the screen, that works really well, because not only does it show you where you're going, but also gives you a heads up if there are any bad guys in the area. And which is kind of useful, because due to the limited control pad that you have, I mean, the standard Mega Drive control pad just had 3 buttons. You really need to sort of get yourself lined up properly before you start shooting. Although that said, the game isn't especially fussy in that way. So long as you're pointing in the right direction, you should be able to plug the bad guys without too many issues. Technically, this game is quite a remarkable achievement. It's very atmospheric, and it works really well. I was surprised by it. I got this game more out of curiosity than anything else, because I didn't get this game when it came out, didn't even know of its existence. I think I'd probably moved on to something else by the time this game was released. And going back to it now, visually, it looks really good. I mean, obviously, it's not up to the standards of what 32-bit machines were capable of that was around at the time, but you know, you have to allow for the hardware this is running on, and this isn't running on the 32X either. This is just your standard, straight-up Sega Mega Drive 16-bit, and it was proof, really, and it's always been proof that, you know, given time, developers can perform minor miracles with technology. The Mega Drive had quite a decent lifespan, and so it was no surprise really that they were able to squeeze this kind of performance and power out of the console. And it really does sort of highlight there isn't always a need to instantly jump ship to new and more powerful things just because a perceived lifespan of a console has come to an end. Quite a lot of the best games that come out for consoles come towards the end of the console life cycle, and it's always a great shame when that happens, because by and large they can end up being ignored because everybody's more interested in the new and exciting things. Yeah, the other important issue as well with this game is how does it play. It's alright looking good, but if it plays like a dog, then there's absolutely no benefit to it whatsoever. But it does play really well. There's no real slowdown. The controls feel a little bit spongy, but again, that's not so much the console. That's not so much the game. It's more of the controller, the limitations of the Xbox controller coming into Mega Drive controller coming into play. But once you get used to it, it works. That's all I can really say, it does work. And this was by no means the only first-person shooter on the Sega Mega Drive. There were others. I do have another one to review soon called Bloodshot. That looks more technologically advanced than this. This seems to be that one uses more of a full screen, but in terms of playability and in terms of putting over a decent environment, this works very, very well. It is tough. There's no two ways about it. You know, you do get shot quite a bit, and I suppose that is the thinking behind there being lives in the game. You do have energy, and you do also have lives, being in the form of the fact that you can select other members of the team. But yeah, this is really good. It's well worth checking out. You can pick this up relatively cheap, even off Amazon. The second hand, you can pick this up relatively cheap, and it's well worth it. It really is. Again, like I say, it just goes to show, with time and development, what can go into getting the best out of a games console, and certainly that is very much the case here. It's well worth checking out. It really is. So there's not really a lot else to say. You can pick up weapons, you can pick up explosives and health, and you know, your standard sort of first person shooter fare, really. You know, it's not so much a Doom clone or anything like that. You know, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, but don't they often make for the best games? The more simple and straightforward an idea is, often makes for a better game. And yeah, it very much is the case here. That's Zero Tolerance on the Sega Mega Drive. Go and check it out. It's well worth trying to hunt down, and especially if you have a Mega Drive. It works on the Blaze Mega Drive clone as well. That's what I'm playing this on. It works very well on there too. There doesn't appear to be any of the weird sound issues as well that sometimes happens with some of the Mega Drive games that you get for that. So yeah, check it out, Zero Tolerance on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please stay tuned to my channels for some more videos to come in the near future. Thank you very much for watching.